Welcome back. Now, the race to replace Boris Johnson within the Conservative Party, the Tories, is well underway. MPs are voting again today to further whittle down their possible potential leadership candidates. The lowest ranked contestant will be eliminated later, with results to be announced from the latest ballot in about the next 15 minutes, I understand. Well, Olly Barratt is joining us now from the UK just to tell us exactly what's going on. Good afternoon, Olly. Just talk to us about this, who's going to replace. This race is hotting up now, as they say. I wonder what the bookies are saying. Who's going to replace Boris Johnson?
It's absolutely hotting up, and the bookies would tell you at the moment that the favourite is Penny Mordaunt, who has been a trade minister most recently. Now, she actually came second in yesterday's round of voting, following behind Rishi Sunak, who was the former finance minister here in the UK. But the reason she's favourite with the bookies is that the polling suggests that when the party members get to vote, which is later on in this process, that she would beat pretty much anyone that she comes up against. So that's the two ways we have to look at all of what is unfolding here in London at the moment. At the moment, MPs are voting, and we whittle it down to the final two, and then it goes to the party membership. Rishi Sunak, the finance minister, we think will come out of this round of voting again in the lead in terms of votes that he's getting from MPs. It'll then be probably Penny Mordaunt and Liz Truss in second and third place. Liz Truss, of course, the current foreign secretary, and then the other candidates we think will trail behind that. And as you were saying, we will go down from 6 to 5 in just over 15 minutes from now. We'll get those results announced. Then we have a gap of a few days because the next votes among MPs aren't till next week, and over the weekend we'll see a series of television debates. So these 6 candidates are all desperate to get into that final 5 so that they get the chance to make their case in front of the television cameras.
Results expected shortly. The last two, do you think? How soon will we know, Olly?
Yeah, the 1922 committee, which organises all of this for the Conservative Party, is very punctual with all of this stuff, Dan, and so that's why we know that in 15 minutes we'll get that result of this round of voting, and the 1922 is saying that they will have all of this done and dusted by the middle or the end of next week, and that is crucial, that timeline, and they do appear to be on track for that timeline, because at the end of next week Parliament breaks up for its summer recess, and so MPs won't be in Westminster to carry out any more voting, and so we'll get down to that final 2, and then when we do at the end of next week, it'll be a whole summer really of campaigning and hustings events and further televised debates in which that final 2 will get the chance to make their case repeatedly to party members, who will then have the final say in a postal ballot, with the result of that expected to be announced on September the 5th, and then we expect the new Prime Minister to walk into number 10 on September the 6th.
Okay, let's now shift focus to a different matter. We are all suffering under the increasing cost of living in different parts of the world, but I see that the low-income household in Britain now are beginning to get hundreds of dollars worth of support going into their bank accounts.
That's exactly right. There's been a whole package announced, Dan, by the government here, and what we're really seeing now is the start of those payments just turning up in people's bank accounts. The first of them go to 8 million lower income households up and down the UK, and the first payment is about £325, so that's 6,000 rand or so. Now there'll be another payment of basically the same size later in the year to those 8 million households. There are other payments that are going to pensioners as well, of similar amounts, and to every household in the country can also get a £400 energy grant going back to them as well. So the government says this is the start of a multi-billion pound support package which is going to make a difference to households up and down the UK. Critics of the government say, look, energy prices are going to rise so much towards the end of the year that all of this will be eclipsed by the rising energy bills that households are going to be getting, and the opposition Labour Party say the government's not doing enough, it's not acting quickly enough. So a very live debate about whether this is the right way to react or whether this is enough from the UK government, but it's all starting now, and as I say, those payments starting to arrive in people's bank accounts directly.
Okay, the next final issue, in fact, I want to talk to you about is about Kevin Spacey. I understand he's expected to appear in court for a brief plea hearing. I don't know if that has happened already. You'll update us now, Olly. And he's likely to enter a not guilty plea to sexual assault charges and have a date set for the trial. What's the latest there?
Yeah, the latest, Dan, is that he has now appeared in court. He has pleaded not guilty to all of these sexual assault charges against him, which date back a number of years. This was a plea hearing, so essentially that was all that was due to take place. He would plead guilty or not guilty. He has pleaded not guilty, and therefore a trial date has been set, which will be next year, June of next year, so some time to wait between now and then. He's on bail in the meantime, and it is expected that when we do get to that trial in June of next year, that could last 3 or 4 weeks. And as I say, he pleaded not guilty in court here in London today.
Thank you very much, Olly, for that latest update on various stories there out of London. He's our correspondent, of course, in the English capital.